The WASSCE examination for this year will be here very soon. So we are solving some questions, WASSCE questions, WASSCE likely exam questions to prepare ourselves and revise for the WASSCE exams. So WAEC would test your knowledge on matrices, and this is one of the questions to help you revise matrices. So we have given that T is equal to the matrix 4, -2, 3m, 5. Find A, the value of m if the determinant of the matrix T is equal to 32. Then the inverse of the matrix T, denoted as T inverse. Now how do we do this? So we need to recall. Recalling is very important for WAEC exams. So recall that when you have a matrix A with entries A, B, C, D, then the determinant, denoted with 2 bars on A, is equal to AD, that is multiply the leading diagonal minus multiply the minor diagonal. So AD minus AC. So you multiply this by this minus this and this. That will give you the determinant. So we use the expression given to us. We're given that the determinant is equal to 32. So the determinant of this matrix is given by 5 times 4, or 4 times 5 minus -2 times 3m. Now when you simplify, this negative gives you positive 6m, and we now subtract 20 from both sides, and that will give you 6m is equal to 12, and we divide both sides by 6 to get m equal 2. So you've answered the first part of the question, m is equal to 2. What about the next part? So for the next part, which is part B, we are interested in finding the inverse. So recall again that the inverse of a matrix with entries A, B, C, D is given by 1 over the determinant. Swap the leading diagonal, swap the entries of the leading diagonals. So the D comes here and the A comes here. Maintain the minor diagonal, but you negate them. So that is how we find the inverse of the 2 by 2 matrix. Now with that, we can now find our inverse, but we must first of all substitute the 2 here to get 3 times 2, which is 6. So our matrix T is having entries 4, -2, 6, 5. The inverse is given by 1 over the determinant of T, which is 32 already. Then we also swap the leading diagonal. You bring this one here and send this one here. Then you negate the minor diagonal. So that will give us this expression. Know that negative will be positive. So we need to substitute the determinant, which is 32. Now we use the scalar 1 over 32 to multiply each of the entries over here, and that will give us this. So we can now simplify. 5 times 1 give us 5. Then we can cancel this out. 2 will go here. 2 will go here, negative 3 times, and 2 will go here 16 times. Now we have this one. 2 will go here 16 times, and 2 will go into itself once. Now 4 can go here 8 times, and 4 can go into itself once. So this will give us this matrix. So this is the inverse matrix we are looking for. Now let's proceed to our next question, which is on logarithm. We have logarithm of 27 base 3 minus logarithm of 64 base 1 over 4, then logarithm of 1 over 81 base 3. And we are supposed to find, without using table or calculators, the value of this logarithm. So once again, this is the logarithm given to us. Now note that because the bases are not the same, we cannot divide. We cannot divide the numbers over here. So what do? We need to simplify each of them. So we look at the base. This is the base. This one, the base is 3. So we raise this to an exponent that will give us 27. So we raise 3 to an exponent that will give us 27, and use it to replace the 27. Over here too, we use 1 over 4. We raise 1 over 4 to an exponent that will give us 64. Then here too, we raise 3 to an exponent that will give us 1 over 81. So we do that, we get this. 3 exponent 3 is 27. Always you look at the base before you raise it to an exponent. That will give you these numbers. So looking at the base, we have 3 exponent 4 will give us 81. Then 1 over 4. You know that 1 over 4 exponent negative 3 will give you 64. If you doubt that, you can try it. You know that 1 over 4 is the same as 4 exponent negative 1. Then you multiply it by the negative 3. So if you multiply it by the negative 3, you get 3. So 4 exponent 3 is 64. 4 exponent 3 is 64. So that is why 1 over 4 exponent negative 3 will give you 64. Now we proceed. We apply the power rule of logarithm, that if the logarithm is raised to a certain power, if the number in the logarithm is raised to a certain power, that exponent will come and multiply. So now 3 will multiply. But before that, let's simplify this further. So 1 over 34, it is 1 over 3 exponent 4, it is same as 3 exponent negative 4. Then we now use that rule to bring the exponents down. So if you use the exponent to multiply, we get this, something like this. So we now have to simplify. Note that logarithm of the base, if the bases are the same, if the base and the number are the same, it will be 1. So all these ones are 1s. So we do that substitution, and we now simplify. 3 plus 3 will give you 6. over negative 4, which is negative 3 over 2, or negative 1 whole number 1 over 2. Now let us look at the next question. In a survey of 100 participants who reported at the isolation center one day, it was found that 70 complained of fever, 50 had cough, and 30 had difficulty in breathing. All the 100 patients had at least one of the complaints, and 44 had exactly 2 of the complaints. How many patients had all 3 complaints? So we can use the Venn diagram to make this easy for us to solve. So here is our Venn diagram. We're told that 70 complained of fever and 50 complained of cough. So we are using the initials. So fever F, cough C, and those who had difficulty in breathing is B, which is 30. Now we're also told that all the 100 patients had at least one of the complaints, meaning that this intersection is not 0, so we represent it by X. Then also we use some variables to represent the exactly 2 regions. So these are the exactly 2 regions. Then we also calculate for these regions. You know that if you have this region, if you add this region plus this plus this plus this, it should give us 70. So if you subtract the sum of these from 70, we will get this region. So that is what we do for all. We should repeat the same thing for all. Subtract the sum of this from 50, this will give you this. Subtract the sum of this from 30, and that will give you this region. Now we're also given that the universal set is 100 because we have 100 COVID-19 patients. Now what do we do next? We sum up all these regions, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and it should give us the universal set. But before that, we were told that exactly 44, we were told that 44 had exactly 2 of the complaints. So what that means is that if you add this region, you should get 44. If you add this and this, you get 44. So that is what gives us our first equation. So the next thing we do now is to add all the remaining 7 regions, and that will give us 100. So this is what we have gotten now. We need to simplify. You know, this is negative, negative, negative. So we can factor the -1 out and add all of them to make the addition simpler. So we do that, add all of them. Now we need to add combine like terms. N plus n is 2n, m plus m is 2m, then p plus p is 2p, and x plus x plus x is 3x. So we now subtract. We know that m minus 2, n minus 2, n will give us -n. Then m minus 2m will also give us -m. p minus 2p will also give us -2p. Then we have this x minus 3x will give us -2x. So you can also try expanding before simplifying. So when we expand, we get this. So we know this and this will give us negative n. Then this and this will give us -m. I mean this and this. Then this and this will give us -p. we can still factor the negative p out, factor the negative 1 out to get this expression here. So now we can now substitute 44 for this expression, and when we do that, we get something like this. We do that, we get this 150 minus 44 minus 2x equals 100, and that will give us, by grouping, we get this. Simplify to get 6 is equal to 2x. All this will give you 6. So it means that those who had all the 3 constraints are 3. So these there are 3 people who had all the 3 constraints. So we proceed with the next question. A straight line joins the point 3, 2 to the point of intersection of the lines x minus y plus 4 equals 0 and y minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. Find its equation. So we have found the equation of the straight line. We know the equation of a straight line is given by y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, where m is the gradient, y1 and x1 are any points on the straight line. So since we were given the point 3, 2 to be the intersection, it means it is lying on that line. So what do? We have to pick them as our x1 and x2. So our x1 and y1. So we have this x1 equal 3 and y1 equal 2. How do we get our second point, which is the intersection of this and this line and this line? We need to solve the 2 equations simultaneously. So let us rewrite each of the equations in standard form. So in standard form means we are bringing a constant here, and that will give us this. For the first one, we have x minus y equal negative 4. Let's name it equation 1. And for the second one, we have negative 2y plus y. I'm writing the 2x, the x terms first. So that's why I got a negative 2x plus y is equal to 5. Now, if we add the 2 equations, then this will go. So let's add them so that the y's will go. We are left with x minus 2x is equal to negative 4 plus 5. So that will give us negative x equal 1 and x is equal to negative 1. Now to get the value of y, we substitute x equal negative 1 into this equation. Into this equation over here. And we solve for y to get y is equal to 3. Now the next thing we do is that we choose them as our second point, which is x2 equal negative 1 and y2 is equal to 3. Good. Now what do we do? What do we need next? We need our gradient. So we substitute the point to the formula for the gradient, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that will give us this 3 minus 2 negative 1 minus 3, which is negative 1 over 4. So the gradient for our line is negative 1 over 4. So let's substitute that into the equation and the points to get this. So we substitute negative 1 over 4 here, and we substitute 2 here because we have y1 is equal to 2, and we substitute 3 here because we have x1 equal 3. Now I want you to expand this, but I will multiply it through by 4 for you to get this. 4y minus 8 equal this. I want you to expand this and simplify it to get the equation of the line as 4y plus x equal 13. So that is the required equation of the line. Now let's proceed to the next question. We are supposed to find the truth set of the simultaneous equations. simultaneous equations. 2 log 2 log 2 log of x to base 3 minus 3 log of y to base 3 is equal to 7, and 2 log of x base 3 minus 2 log of y base 3 is equal to 4. So this is our first logarithmic equation, and the second is this. Now if you observe carefully, you realize that these two terms are identically the same. They are all the same thing. So when we subtract the two equations, they will go. The x terms will go. So let's subtract equation 1 from equation 2, and that will give us this. This will give us 0. So we have -3 equation subtracting, so equation 2 minus equation 1, so that will give us this. Now note that negative is positive, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So log of base 3 of y will be equal to -3. Now you take the anti-logarithm or write it as indices. That is, 3 will come and raise this to get 3 exponent -3, and this is the same as 1/27, because 3 exponent -3 is the same as 1/3 exponent 3, and 3 exponent 3 is 27. Now let's look at how we can find x. We need to substitute the value of y. So it will be simpler if you substitute this form of the y here over here in the second equation or in the first equation. So I'm using the first equation in this case. If you do that, you can see that we can use this to multiply the logarithm to get something like this. Then we have logarithm of the base is equal to 1. So this and this will give us 9. So we just have to group like terms to get 7 minus 9 is -2. Divide through by 2 to get log 3x is equal to -1. So take the anti-logarithm to get 3 exponent -1, and that will give you 1/3. So if you don't want to go this way, you can also choose variables for log to base 3 of x. So you can put m here, and you can put n here. The same thing here, m here. So you can put m here too. Then over here too, you put n here. So your equations will become like this. 2m minus 3n is equal to 4. And it's equal to 7, rather. It's equal to 7. Then the second one, you have 2m minus 2n is equal to 4. So with that, you can now solve the two equations simultaneously. Then after solving it simultaneously, you can then do the substitution back to find x and y. So in that case, you are letting m equal this and n equal that. So if you do that, you get m to be equal to -3, and you get m to be equal to -1 and n to be equal to -3. Then you compare to get a value for x and y. Now let's look at another question on probability. So the probabilities that Abner and Kweku will win their respective races are 2/7 and 3/5. Find the probability that both of them will win. Only one of them will win. So the probability that both of them will win, let's look at that one first. We have that probability that Abner will win is 2/7, and probability that Abner will not win will be the complement, which is 1 minus 2/7, and that will give you 5/7. Then the probability that Kweku will win is 3/5, and the probability that Kweku will not win will be 2/5. So we want to find the probability that both of them win. If both of them win, it means Abner won and Kweku won, and that will give you 2/7 times 3/5, and that will be equal to 6/35. Then the probability that only one of them will win is that either Abner will win and Kweku will lose, or Abner will lose and Kweku will win. So if Abner wins, it will be 2/7, and Kweku loses, it will be 2/5. Plus Abner loses 5/7 times Kweku won 3/5. And if you simplify this, you get 4/35 plus 15/35, which will give you 19/35. So do not forget to check the description, and also you subscribe to this channel for more videos. I will be uploading more videos to prepare you for this year's WASSCE. So click the subscribe button now. Now, if you can still see this red thing here, it means you have not yet subscribed. So you just have to click it so that the next upload, you see it is still red. You have to click it so that if I upload the next video, you'll be informed. Click the bell icon too, so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.